Today on General Hospital, Molly and Cody finally share some romance. Alexis warns Chase about his investigation, and Britt needs to know she can trust Jason to stick around for her. The show opens with a replay of Laura finding Dalton's body in her trunk and screaming. She checks for a pulse and realizing he's dead and cries, No. I get the makeup is for the creep factor, but Dalton looks like he's been floating in the river for a week. Laura recalls the threats she made against him, pulls out her phone, and tries to decide whom to call for help. She eventually makes a call, crying to someone that she's in trouble and is en route. 23. Laura gets back in her car and sobs behind the wheel. At the brown dog. Christina and Molly are having drinks when Cody appears. Christina invites him to join them, and Molly gushes about how she can't believe he rescued her dad, who is doing amazing. Cody and Christina give one another a look. When Jacinda walks in, Christina says she's going to go chat with her, leaving the would-be lovebirds alone. As Christina talks with her at the bar, we learn that Charlie's is being torn down due to structural damage and that Christina is looking for a new opportunity. Back at their table, Cody asks about Molly's book research. She says she's been looking into country music and asks what type of country song he'd dance to. A song comes on, so he suggests this one and asks her to dance. She accepts, and as they sway, they gaze into one another's eyes. At the Metro Court. Gio tells his grandpa Sonny about his confession regarding Rocco. That Dante feels he wasn't looking out for his brother, and he isn't wrong. He feels Dante is his father biologically, but that's where it ends between them. Sonny believes his son will come around in time. Gio doesn't want to put him in the middle, but Sonny says he can love his son and grandson at the same time. Back on the highway. Nathan suddenly appears to check on Laura as she's sitting in her car. She gets out and explains she got a flat, so he asks if she has a spare. Just as he is about to open the trunk, Sonny appears. Sonny tells Laura he happened to be in the area and can help her with the tire. Fortunately, Nathan gets a work call and has to go. Sonny assures the officer he can handle this. Alone, Sonny asks Laura what they are dealing with. He then looks in the trunk. In her room above Bobby's, Britt tries to pull it together. Jason shows up and shares the news about Danny and Charlotte coming forward to help Rocco. Britt thanks him for telling her, but then he asks her why she had a key fob to Dalton's lab, and if it's related to the 5 poppies. Jason knows she's in trouble and wants to help, but he can't when she keeps him in the dark. Britt cries, I have to know you will put me first, that I'm worth risking my life. Jason promises she can trust him. They're interrupted by Sonny's call, which Britt calls impeccable timing. Sonny tells him he needs his help, and Jason takes off, but not before he tells Britt, sorry. Back on the highway. Sonny tells Laura she did the right thing calling him, but now they must go. He says her car will be taken care of. At the hospital. Brook Lynn gets off the phone with Tracy, just as Michael shows up. She feels terrible about lying to Tracy about her own son, but she knows her presence here would only stress Olivia out further. Brook Lynn shifts the conversation to Dante and Gio, and her heart is breaking for them. She tells him about Gio's confession and how Dante showed no empathy and said some awful things. All she wanted to do was comfort Gio, but there was nothing she could do. They sit down, and Michael tells her that not all fathers and sons have a perfect relationship. He talks about his and his father's rough times and how things got better with his mom's support. She wonders if she could do that for Gio, but admits she's afraid of pushing him further away. Michael believes she'll figure it out and heads to the cafeteria to get her smoothie. Later, Gio shows up, and Brook Lynn tells him that Ned is doing great. Gio says Michael called him and said he was needed, but he doesn't know what for. Brook Lynn believes Michael likely thought she needed him. Brook Lynn tells him that Dante doesn't speak for her, and that she knows Gio was only trying to do the right thing by exposing animal testing when it went sideways. She says even when you have the best of intentions, sometimes people get hurt. That makes Gio think about her giving him up. She was trying to do something good, and there was no way she could have known what her mom and grandma would do. Brook Lynn tells Gio that it goes for him too, as Rocco didn't tell him his plan, and he can't know what he doesn't know. She puts her hand on his knee, and he takes it in his hand. Chase stops by Alexis's office just as she's about to leave. He tells her that he can prove Michael's alibi is false. Chase explains that Ezra confirmed to him, drunkenly, that the last time he hired Jacinda as an escort was the night Drew was shot. Alexis says, unfortunately it comes down to hearsay, so Chase promises to get proof. Alexis warns him it's not a slam dunk and could cost him his career if he goes up against someone like Ezra. Chase tells Alexis he believes Willow's freedom is worth it. She again reiterates that this could cost him his badge. At the hospital. Brook Lynn tells Gio that he's allowed to have regrets about what went wrong, but not to blame himself for Rocco's choices. She says Dante is scared for Rocco, was wrong about what he said, and she has no problem telling him that to his face. Gio says, "Thanks, Mom." They embrace just as Michael returns, smiling, seeing them connecting. "I'm not crying, they're crying." At the bar, Molly rests her head on Cody's shoulder as they dance in her room. Britt crawls into bed and cries as she thinks about the night from hell she just had on the road. Jason shows up and fixes Laura's car tire. He then gets in and drives it away. Sunny gets Laura back to her office, where she is in tears. She says when she saw Dalton's body, it was like she froze. She should have called the police, but she just stood there. Sunny says anyone who found a body like that would be shaken. It's normal. Sunny tells her that her car will appear in her driveway tomorrow, fully detailed, and all evidence of Dalton will be gone. Laura doesn't know if she can go through with this, but he tells her she must. Sunny says someone who didn't like the election results is trying to make trouble for her. She says Ezra doesn't like them, neither does Drew. She then realizes this was Sidwell's doing. Someone give Jeannie a daytime Emmy for this next year, please?